Hello, everybody. How's it all going? Today, yes, we are going to be doing something a little bit different because, as you can tell from the numbering, this is not a normal episode. In fact, you might think that we're just trying to fill the air, and that's exactly what we're doing. So we're just going to wing whatever the hell we have on our minds. And on my mind, I've got my best friend, my partner, my confidant, Mr. Fluffy Senpai Jason, all the way 13 hours ahead of me in Hong Kong. Mr. Jason Fluffy Senpai, how are you doing?
First of all, I'm doing fine. At 5:39 a.m. in the fucking morning. And we were originally going to start at 5, but my dumbass couldn't get the setup working, and I need to grab coffee, and then I spilled it.
Don't worry about the technical difficulties. The most important thing is your desk and your floor okay? Are they stained with coffee, or is that all good now?
It's kind of hard to tell sometimes because
everything's
spilled
brown.
It's wood floor, and it is not the first nor the last time I've spilt coffee on everywhere.
I hope it wasn't hot coffee at least.
Oh no, never. It's always cold, black coffee.
Straight
the way I like it.
out of the fridge. Very nice.
Guys,
I've only got hot coffee over here.
But hot coffee, the GTA mod. Every time someone says hot coffee, it reminds me of that GTA mod. But anyways, guys.
Oh, wow. You really, really bring it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So
GTA 6 is around the corner.
Yeah, and that leak is bad. So, guys, as you can tell, we're kind of off the cuff. Originally, we were going to not make this episode, but we thought we would have a filler episode. So, thus, we will call this EP or episode 47.5, like a stopgap, if you will, rather than a BP or whatever. Or maybe we'll call it a BP. Who knows?
Who knows, right? I think the main thing, of course, is that we just wanted to have something to fill the air, considering that whilst we have recorded a ton of episodes, there was also, if you've listened to it, episode 47, which was also done remotely between Toronto and Hong Kong. But I'm unfortunately not back in Hong Kong yet. In fact, I'm not flying for another 2 days. And then, with regards to how it stacks up against our recording schedule, it won't be until a month after episode 47 that we be able to record and release the next episode. So rather than keeping everyone waiting, I'm sure you all want to hear our beautiful, beautiful voices. So we're just going to be getting a little more content out, talking about what the hell's going on in the anime world, and also just going over some of the stuff we've been watching. And I think it might even be a good time to maybe talk about what the hell a filler episode is and why the hell companies used to do that shit. I don't really think companies do it as much now, considering that release schedules are a bit more coordinated. But of course, long-running series would still need to throw in some filler in case a manga or a studio gets into some technical difficulties or some health issues. So this is not so much a health issue on our end, even though I did get COVID about a couple weeks ago. This is more a technical situation, and of course we'll go back to our regular recording schedules. But for now, enjoy us in a more sort of aloof, more off-the-cuff kind of environment.
Yeah, because it's mainly a timing issue. We don't want to record our finale remotely because traditionally...
That would have been really shit, yeah.
Yeah, traditionally speaking, we would get drunk and do stupid awards because stupid awards are awesome. And
it just wouldn't have that kind of charm to it if it was just like, I'm sitting here alone in cold-ass Canada and you're over in swampy, wet Hong Kong trying to coordinate awards when we're both a little bit inebriated. It'll be a mess. It'll just be better for us to push that recording back a little bit and fill the air with some, I guess, quote unquote original content.
Mm-hmm. So I would like to sort of take this opportunity to sort of go over maybe something that we have been watching or reading, because we would be mentioning a lot of these shows potentially from this season, definitely from the season, during our finale, I'm sure. We'll would catch up on some of the shows in between this recording and when we actually recording.
Whoa. You'll be very, very happy to know that during the in between the time of the last recording, which is episode 47, and as of right now, I have watched, amazingly, a grand total of 48 minutes of anime. So I have been catching up on some stuff.
Hold on. These 48 minutes at what speed?
Literally regular,
Okay.
human-ass Earth minutes.
All right. So how about let's start with you then. In your 48 minutes, so that's essentially 2 episodes. What?
Only 2 episodes, and also both the openings and the endings. So everything from back to front. No skipping, no time skips, no fast forwarding. Just sitting back and just watching some anime. I mean, the good thing now is that like whilst I'm indoors, it was snowing fairly heavily last week. Though I think at most we got maybe like half a foot of snow. That's pretty normal, especially in the middle of November. We were
that's
expected
6
to be
inches,
getting,
yeah?
Yeah, 6 inches, give or take. Yeah. So, the other parts of Canada, even like when I was in New York, like parts of Western New York were getting anywhere from like 4 to 6 feet of snow. Like Buffalo was like completely like submerged in snow.
When you say Buffalo, you mean
Buffalo, New York.
Okay, just making sure.
Is there another Buffalo?
No, I don't know. I mean,
I don't believe there's a Buffalo in Ontario. But no, Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
So So
I applied to the SUNY school there.
Yeah. You sorry, what?
The SUNY school, the
did you?
UC system. There's the
Yeah, State University of New York.
Yep. I applied to, I think, Binghamton, Albany,
No,
Albany,
Oneonta, whatever it's called.
and Buffalo. Yeah, those 3, I think. No, Stony Brook as well. Stony Brook as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good school. But Purdue's the one that did it for you, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It was
Yeah.
kind of a
So,
no-brainer. It was either that or University of Colorado.
That would have been over in Boulder, right?
Yeah. So it would have been a good time, but Purdue was more of like the more Asian-oriented choice, let's just say, from an Asian parent's perspective.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, you definitely get a lot more of that Asian allure when talking about Purdue. They have a really good school program for like medical sciences, right? And they also got a really good football team.
I mean, also their engineering is like better than Ivy League schools for a lot of them. Like they're no for real.
To all the Ivy League weebs out there that are listening to this podcast, hey, sucks to be you.
If a Purdue astronaut was in Astrolost in space, they won't get lost. Okay,
Jesus,
that's
well. I'm glad you're waving the Purdue flag, loud and proud. So
the most amount of astronauts graduated from any institution ever.
Is it really?
Yes, like legit. I think it's like 20 something. Obviously, Neil Armstrong being the most famous one.
Ah, look at you, this proud and patriotic Boilermaker.
Hammer down, boiler up. But okay. Can I just say something about the fall seasonal, though, real quick? How many 8s do you think are currently live, as in all the shows?
Dude. Okay, well, Bleach is like the greatest anime of all time, right? 1,000-Year Blood War.
Jesus Christ.
Spy X Family's up there. Chainsaw Man's up there. I think that Golden Kamuy should be up there as well. Tyrion Eternity is this season as well, right? So
yes, that's correct.
That should be an 8. So that's at least 5. I'm definitely missing a couple here. I'd say there's like 8 shows that are 8 and up.
Incorrect. There is a total of 11 shows that is 8
God,
plus.
I wasn't even close.
And Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury is 7.99. So that's like a close.
That's
case.
basically an 8, right? Of course, on a technicality, it's not going to be an 8, but hey, like that's as close. That literally is just 0.01 away. Wow.
Yeah. So
when was the last time we had double digits for 8s and up?
I thought about that, and actually, you gave me the answer
stats for it, right?
Yeah, during the BP12 for like genre defining, there was that one season that had 12 8s. The one with slime isekai in it.
Damn. Okay. We can pull up those stats anytime. But damn, yeah, no, it's 11 shows. Holy fuck.
Do you want to know the craziest thing? Is first of all,
hit me with it.
Bocchi the Rock is the 3rd highest anime this season.
You did say that you watched some of it and it's really good.
It's great. But here's the kicker. Ready? on number 9 out of 11 8.0 shows is Idol 7 Third Beat Part 2 with
Wait,
7.9 fans or members with a score of
7.9,
8.19.
7.9K, right?
7.9K, that's correct. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like,
It's like Sunshine all over again.
Yeah, Love Live season 2, like what, Superstar or whatever it was called. I think it still only has like 20, maybe 30K members. But when we looked, it was when we were
18.
collating scores at the time, it was So I think it was only 16K members at the time. But people like really, really, really love the show. At least the ones that watched it and the ones who want to, simp for it. So they'll start pushing the scores up. Once you start getting into shows that are like, have like 100K members, 500K, a million members, and those are the ones that are pushing 8s and up, then that's like there's a little bit more legitimacy there, or there's like a much larger, much fiercer fandom behind it. But hey, look, I'm not taking anything away from Idol 7, whatever the hell that show is about. I mean,
Part 2.
I guess it's about 7 idols.
Yeah, 7 dudes. The third beat, I guess, third season, Part 2. I don't know.
Look. Maybe we're missing the beat on these idol shows, right? I mean, these are the ones that have small but very, very passionate fandoms. And do you think that maybe we're missing out by not following these idol shows?
Well, if we are allowed to jump around, since this is kind of filler content, I need to report on a news story, Will. It is a very, very important news story. In fact, I would say the most important news story ever. Okay?
Wow, even after Ash Ketchum became champion of the world?
Absolutely. So
Jesus, okay.
There is a show that spans 5 seasons that is a weird mixture of action, idol singing, stupid transformation, Sailor Moon bullshit that I love to high heavens.
Oh my god, yeah, okay.
It is called Symphogear. They announced on their 10th anniversary stream that there is going to be a new anime project. And
if you need to, there's a 1 minute and 40-second visual that's posted on their Twitter account. It's written in Japanese, useless. But it's not hard to figure what it's about.
It's useless footage. They just kind of like do like a, oh hey, do you remember these scenes that are, we then make it in black and white and then we show you the different logos, but then the next one is question mark. But anyways, yeah.
How excited are you that you're going to be getting more Symphogear?
I lost my shit and texted my other friend who introduced me to Symphogear. We both lost our shit, and our theory is that there's a mobile game.
Oh, there has to be, right?
No,
there has to be.
There is. And I'm assuming that if they were to adapt anything, it would be from that game. If not, obviously, because it's all original. So then you can't really know. There's no adaptation source other than the dude's mind.
Or maybe they're just, pulling like a Takt Op Destiny and, creating a whole season of anime to preview and get everyone ready for the release of the mobile game.
Dude,
so if it follows that track, that means it's going to do really, really well for the first 9 episodes, and then it's going to crash and burn and end with like a 6.7 or like a 6.9 by season's end.
Everyone got blue-balled, including you, and I felt like so like by proxy, like betrayed by Takt Op Destiny, because we were singing to high heavens like the first 2 episodes I remember I watched or something.
First episode and a half for sure. I think it kind of died down a little bit like near the end of the second episode. But
as they do the road trip,
I mean like that, because that road trip was super long, and they started introducing new characters, especially like new villains. But the villains were all super lackluster. You never really saw any character growth in either of the main characters or the supports. You of course you're supposed to focus on the music, but it's hard when the only thing that's good about your show wasn't even that great beyond like the first scene, when the guy's like in the little marketplace and he sits down by the piano, and then they have that long ass fight scene just to kickstart what Takt Op Destiny was all about. Like that was stellar, that was great, but that was literally like the high point. You can't start the whole point in a crescendo is that you're supposed to get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. You don't just start with a bang and then end on a whimper.
And to betray betrayed, but like,
Oh, I was betrayed, dude.
well, like,
I felt fucking angry.
yeah, because it was basically, hey, yo, we have an app, guys, and maybe have gotcha elements in it. So, yeah, you want to know more?
I do want to see what the download data for that is. Like, if anybody, I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be like a good fandom for it. I mean, it's a multimedia project that, does have a good amount of backing behind it. So, hey, look, maybe the anime sucks, but the game is good. But I do want to know if they had botched the anime, would they have been able to get more users?
So
I mean,
yeah. So originally, before we were going to sit down and record, like literally hours before, I was going to listen to BP. No, I was going to watch some seasonals, maybe like an episode or two. But then I ended up doing something else, which was listening to our forecast, I think episode 44, as well as our BP 12, like genre defining animes by the decade. And we forgot to mention multimedia projects, because I think that's actually a crazy thing that is relatively new-ish, right?
I mean, we've been seeing a lot of that now, right? I mean, like Genshin Impact is probably going to be getting like a lot of projects in the coming year. Now that you've also dropped, the Symphogear news, that's the next thing to look into. Yeah, I think. Well,
I mean, there's tons of boy bands.
Would you consider like multimedia projects itself though like a genre, or do you think it's more just like a big business move?
I think it's a business model, to be honest.
Yeah,
like it's not really a genre.
Hard to, because like to put it under like one genre itself, like it's quite clear that there's a difference between Takt Op Destiny and Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is like fluffy like waifu like fantasy, whereas Symphogear, it's just batshit crazy girls singing in the middle of space. So there's a difference there, but I do see what you mean in that, like, this is probably a model that a lot of companies are going to try and move forward with, because it's just diversifying your portfolio, right? You have an anime here, you have like figurines over there, you have Blu-rays and merch, and then you have like games, whether it's on mobile or platforms like Steam or on like Switch. Yeah, so you're not wrong. I think that you're going to see a lot more of those. It's just a matter of like what kind of properties we're going to see, and it just seems that quite clearly it's usually kind of like ensemble / cast focused, because that's how you get the gotchas, that's how you get the the pay as you play kind of element in there, just because you want to collect your favorite girl or your favorite husbando.
I also do think idol shows and music, they could release like their album, right? Like Hypnosis Mic. I'm sure this Idol Third Beat Part 2, whatever, has songs. I would be interested in checking out Visual Prison. Do you remember that bullshit? The lyrics.
How many episodes did you end up watching?
Like 2. It was endlessly hilarious, but also like not like.
It was cringe. It was
so
incredibly
cringe, bro.
But like, would you have said that? Oh, wait, we were jumping around the place, but I don't care. Would you say it though that Visual Prison is more cringe or Hypnosis Mic?
Ooh, let me see. In my opinion, I would say Hypnosis Mic is more self-aware than Visual Prison, and because Visual Prison has like the femboy vampire kind, and their lyrics, if you like look at their subtitles, is so melodramatic.
You definitely get a lot of like the meme worthy lyric captures from Visual Prison.
And then that Ahegao face was,
but then there were also
priceless.
Like some like incredibly like seasoned and like like most acclaimed voice actors like singing in Hypnosis Mic, and you're just like, wait a minute, is that character from so and so anime or so and so movie?
Did we watch the first episode together?
We watched
on
the first
Discord,
episode together.
right?
I don't know if we finished it, but we definitely watched the first episode.
We definitely finished the first episode because there was. I mean, we're gonna spoil a bit of the first episode, at least what I remember of it. They introduced each like boy band group, right? And then they all rap. Great. So then this is like the third group or something. And it is on top of a hospital on a helipad. Then there is this doctor guy that shows up, right? I guess he's like treating something and it shows up on the roof. Then
That's the guy I'm talking about. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. The super famous voice actor, and like, and you were the one who immediately recognized it. You're just like, this guy's fucking rapping. What the hell's going on?
He's the head priest from or like the good guy priest from Bookworm Isekai.
Yeah.
And
that's the guy. That's the guy.
He just started rapping, and I'm like, the fuck?
Like, I didn't know what to do with myself at that point. I was just like, should I applaud? Should I laugh? Should I be in shock? Or should I turn this off?
Well, we didn't turn it off, but all of the rest, yes, that's what happened to me at least. So
there was a lot to unpack from Visual Prison. No, from Hypnosis Mic.
Both, actually.
But yeah, to be fair, yeah, actually both of them were just as ridiculous and crazy. But yeah, no, I think back onto the multimedia project thing. We're definitely going to see that. I mean, like, you still have like big companies that are involved in anime production, manga production. I mean, look, like the whole Gundam series is a multimedia project, right? So it's been around for decades. It's just now that like we've moved beyond just pure figurines and now moving into the more digital age. I mean, like, what's to say that we aren't going to be seeing multimedia projects that involve like Web3 and NFT projects?
So with Gundam in particular, I think it is, yes, it is like a multimedia because it has video games. It has like obviously the models.
Don't forget that they're also looking to, implement, Gundam into the metaverse as well. That thing that was announced like earlier this year, but it's not going to be in production, or at least like live, until like next year or 2024.
Didn't they have a fucking cameo in like that Steven Spielberg Ready Player One somewhere?
Yeah. That's more just like an Easter egg, but you can see, right? Like anime has and manga and just this whole sort of subculture is permeating into every facet of entertainment, of our everyday lives. So
but hear me out. For some reason, when it comes to things like Gundam, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh, or even Pokemon, actually less so, I just don't consider them what I would it's so stupid and pedantic, but when I think of like multimedia projects, right, I don't think of ones that sell mainly merchandise. I just think of like the Takt Op. I guess it's the more modern one. The Takt Op, the Hypnosis Mic, the like, from the get-go, guys, this is a multimedia project. And every time I hear that, that's why I feel like it's like a genre in of itself, because they always announce it from the get-go. And it's just like, they have this grandiose
but I mean,
plan.
Like, I think for those, it's because it like derived from like a business model that has existed for decades, right?
And with kids, right? So I totally get that.
Yeah, so like Digimon, sure. Beyblade, like Pokemon, and all that. Yeah, they mostly all started off as games or collectibles or plushies and figurines, and then ended up getting greenlit for anime production, manga production, movie production. But I do get what you're saying in that, like, whilst those kind of had like their roots in one particular aspect that wasn't necessarily anime or manga, the ones that we're seeing nowadays is like it has everything in mind, and it has everything released in one go, knowing that from day one they're going to be tackling the music industry, they're going to be tackling the anime industry, the figurine industry, the meta industry. So you're not wrong in that. Like, it could be a genre itself. It's just a very wide umbrella. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, let's not forget that. Actually, Will, when were you in New York City? From when to when?
Well, which time? I went back to the previous weekend. So
like give me a date.
Well, the last time I was there was just this past weekend. So from the 18th to the 21st of November. And then before that was like a week and a half before that.
So, Will, you missed out on probably one of the more prominent anime convention circuits, Anime NYC, from November 18th to 20th. Did you?
No, I was there. There were a lot of people that were dressed up as anime characters walking around. Even like, at the same time, there was also quite a few people that were dressed up in their favorites, their favorite anime characters
All
over
right,
Halloween because I was over
what you
there
got?
too. I saw a couple Anyas. I saw a couple
Okay,
people from Rurouni Kenshin.
okay.
Rama Half. I saw like a couple playing that, which I thought was kind of weird, but
Yeah, like old school. Like, sure, okay, no
no,
problem.
I meant as in like because they're literally the same person, but it's just like, would that be self-cessed or would that just be like,
Bro, in anime, that is a thing, unfortunately, for better or
yeah,
for worse. You know?
God, dude, like whenever you see like those Halloween pictures and there's always like a Tanjiro and a Nezuko couple, I'm like, bro, girl, like
No,
what
no,
the
but
hell are
that's
you
not
doing? It's
self-cessed,
cute.
though.
It's awesome. No, but it's awesome. It's cute, but it's also like you do realize like what their relationship is. Well, it's like, no, it's cute. It's like, okay, right. I mean, it is cute. It is awesome that like the cosplay itself looks awesome, but it's also you can't help but ignore the fact that they're
The
still
familial
brother.
bond. Yeah.
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 That very very lovey dovey like won't like let you go brother and sister relationship. Like wow, you guys really really vouch for that. Okay, got that. No problem. No
Yeah.
judgment here whatsoever.
You do you guys, right? So, or do each other. But Anime NYC, sorry, Will. Anime NYC 2022, obviously being a convention, has panels, and when there are panels, there's a whole slew of news, like a shit ton. I don't really want to go over all of it because it's really comprehensive in terms. Just think of it like the video game version of E3 or like DreamHack, I think is like there's like a
I mean, just
the one.
any of those big conferences where like literally like creators and also like industry experts, all of them come together and they either experience, their favorite vibes and anime and characters, and then of course the industry experts come in and say, hey, look, we know you enjoyed so and so anime. Wait till spring of 2023 when we start releasing this, and they start playing a trailer or something. There might be like an Ask Me Anything or like a Q&A for a mangaka or a voice actress or an actor, and then that's usually like the go-to if you want to know what's going to be happening in the upcoming quarters of anime.
So yeah, so also there's a lot of manga news. So for example, like all the major publishers like Yen Press, Komiki, Seven Seas, they all announced a slew of stuff. Crunchyroll obviously has a panel, and they announced, hey, 2023 we're premiering XYZ show, blah blah blah. But the one I want to focus on, Will, was one that we were actually quite curious about, and we are not sure how to feel about it. And it is none other than the creator of Kagegurui's High Card. So they had a world premiere of their first episode at Anime NYC 2022 with the panel and Q&A afterwards. And I kid you not, here is what is this person's name? Hold on. This is this Anime News Network's first line about High Card. Ready for this, Will?
I'm waiting.
High Card is actually inspired by Kingsman.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what to make of that news.
This premiere episode feels like an over-the-top and stylized action movie. Blah, 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 blah,
Okay.
blah. Oh, and in quotes, the soundtrack also slaps super hard.
I wouldn't have doubted that. I mean, like if anybody's watched any Kakegurui, like the soundtrack is flames. Like I'm always down for some Kakegurui music, so I wouldn't doubt that High Card is good music. But
So we went from being unsure to now we can be a little bit more optimistic about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because we were kind of eyeing it, right? Like trying to figure out, like, it's an original, it's by the Kaigurui people. We both have
but also the fact that we saw like the preview clips and trailers and all that, and it was just kind of like this is okay, I suppose. But it's also like we have that Kakegurui bias, and we know it's the same character, the same creator, but bruh, like, it's a pretty high bar to reach. So look, if Anime News Network is down with it. Not to say that they are, of course, the go-to when it comes to anime recommendations. I mean, like I think you're still kind of befuddled by the hype that's what was that that golf anime, Birdie Wing.
Yeah, I probably should just watch more of the
I
first
just see what the
season.
hell's what the hell's going on, right? Like why people are like so like up in arms about like this being like the next best like sports anime, how it's great for not just, female representation, but just all gender representations and sexualities within sports, within anime. And yeah, I mean, you and I haven't watched any of it. I think you might have watched a bit
I
or not
watched
at
two
all.
episodes of it. So I saw a bit, only a slight bit of like the craziness that is what everyone loses their mind over. And I have to admit, it's kind of dumb in a very anime JoJo sense.
I mean, like they I think they like, unlock not really superpowers, but it's like very, very like going against the laws of physics, mind
Yes.
bending techniques to be able to knock a ball from one side of the grass to the other side.
Like,
Um,
I think was it in the first episode, and spoilers for like the first or second episode, which I don't really feel like it's that bad of a spoiler because I think this might either convince you to watch it or convince you to stay away from it. There is a scene that takes place in a train yard at night, and it's like supposed to look all mysterious. A random woman shows up in a mask as a villain, right? Like a clown mask, like a I don't know, like just like a mask essentially, like the slimy Sekai mask, for example. Then they have to play a hole in the middle of the train yard. So the main female character is like, all right, fuck it. Then she like closes her eyes or something and listens to the trains moving, and she shoots a ball through the train carts, like
through
that gap.
the gap between the carts of the train, right?
Yeah,
Like from one carriage to another carriage.
and well, not from one carriage, like from the outside. Like,
As in, like, yeah, for, like, basically the little gap between the carriages.
yes, correct. And I was told by people who have watched more that that is the tip of the iceberg of absurdity. And I'm just like, sure, if you want to do a power swing that literally pierces a tree so that you can bypass it rather than go around it, I mean, sure, great.
I mean, you're in the midst of all the JoJo series right now, so you're just seeing absurdity upon absurdity. Hey, maybe you be a bit more biased and see like hey, I mean
I'm
that's cool, but can they do this like in JoJo? Blah 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 blah
I'm waiting for the bulldozers, guys. Like,
blah.
have you thought about that? Have you thought
Well,
about how
look,
futile it could be? You know?
yeah, okay, so of course like based on like just like how you were kind of lukewarm but kind of inquisitive about what this hype is about Birdie Wing. I think we're both also kind of you know maybe this could be good. Maybe we might check it out. For high card. Who knows? We'll just wait and see.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, I think
So,
that's but that's pretty much. Well, I mean, of course, there's other news that we might just drop here and there. So we'll see how this filler episode goes. But back,
yeah, I'm
back
so
on what you were
sorry.
talking about.
Yes, you're
So
47
of
minutes,
course, no, it's
right?
fine. I mean, you were like collecting a lot of news articles. You were also re-listening to a couple of our previous recordings just to sort of, I guess, like prepare yourself, or maybe even like drop some notes in terms of what to expect for this season, for upcoming seasons. So that means you haven't really watched much else, right, since the last time we recorded.
I actually have. I've
Okay,
actually.
is it more than 48 minutes?
It's way more than 48 minutes, son.
All right, drop it like it's hot then.
Sure. You don't want to go first?
No, go for it. I mean, like, hey, man, I'm putting you on the spot now, so
Okay.
you either stay on the stage or get off.
Well, guess what? I'm staying on that stage. So
All
I
right, the mic is
feel
yours.
I feel like there will be shows that we will definitely mention in the finale. So I would like to sort of take this opportunity to mention shows that I think are still very good, but are not in the finale, or may not show up that much in the finale. The main one being Romantic Killer, which is a Netflix exclusive, 12 episodes based on the manga of the same name by Wataru Momose, who did the story and the art. Started as a webcomic and then started serialization on Shonen Jump Plus with 4 volumes and 39 chapters completed, published in English by Viz Media, and produced by Studio Domerica. And I'm just like, what kind of name is that? And it turns out
Never heard of that.
they produced the anime adaptation of The World Ends With You in spring 2021.
Oh, okay, all right.
So,
I mean, how much have you watched of it so far?
I have finished it. And
Okay.
I think it's a solid 8.
That's the thing, right? It's an 8, and you've consumed all of it, but you also said that this is not necessarily going to be featuring a lot, or if at all, for the finale episode. So
I've yet to
what
decide,
happened?
but yeah, I think it won't be featured either at all or just maybe here and there, I guess. But I think this is quite interesting because you essentially, first of all, it's called Romantic Killer because it's about a girl who only cares about 3 things in her life: chocolate, her cat, and playing video games.
Killing. Oh, I thought it would be killing people. Okay, all right.
No, she is a nerd ass trucker. Motherfucker? I don't know, whatever. But one day, she opened an Otome game. So you might think, okay, so this is like an isekai type bullshit, right? No, because what happened is when she opens the game, turns it on and starts playing, a fairy kind of shows up, but a fairy that is kind of a yeongsoy, like kind of like stupid looking. And essentially, she is now part of this pilot program to increase the birth rate in Japan, the ever so important and real issue of declining birth rate.
This is not just like a rehash of World Ends Harem, or like,
no.
This sounds like a terrible plot, but go on.
So what happens is this fairy is like, I'm gonna take away all your luxuries, aka your cat, your chocolate, and your video games. And I need to basically simulate your real life IRL circumstances to reflect that of a shoujo romance Otome game, such that you will fall in love and theoretically have kids, whatever, so on and so forth. So you'll find true love and don't be in need.
Basically, this fairy is like, we're gonna get an arranged marriage for you, and we're gonna make you live the lifestyle of what it's like to be falling in love with your shining knight in armor.
Yeah. So when at this point in time, I was just like, I'm ready to quit this show. But here's the best part. The main character, Anzu Hoshino, first of all, is voiced by Rie Takahashi. Megumin from Konosuba, Emilia from ReZero, and Mash from FGO. So, very, very prominent voice. But Anzu decides to be like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't need to listen to you. And I play Otome games for a living. So, you know what? Rather than being into this romance, like isekai bullshit, or reverse isekai, I'm just going to fuck shit up. I'm not going to buy into this romance thing. And starts this thing of her realizing her life is all of a sudden changed because this fairy can, for example, all of a sudden wave a wand, and then her parents all of a sudden got a job to go overseas or something. So then she's left home alone. She drops her phone or something, and then someone else picks. Like, the fairy can literally control it like a video game. But at every corner, she either resists or just outright fights the fairy. And that's why it's called Romance Killer, because she just doesn't want any of that bullshit. And
killing romance, essentially. Then
and
well,
I have to admit,
you talked about all the good stuff. Then, right? So
it's really funny. It's the voice acting is really good.
What's holding you back from putting any nominations from Romantic Killer in the final episode of season 4 for the GAP?
So if you are not very into like the romance shoujo genre, there will be a lot of tropes that you will definitely still get, but there are a lot of like random nuggets of stuff that you will be like, either you don't get it or it'll fly over your head or you groan. But as someone that actually reads shoujo manga, I quite appreciate some of like the nuggets of information, but it could be very esoteric for a lot of people, like very like, okay, so it's just like another generic show kind of thing, but with a weirder premise and a good voice cast.
I mean, the scores on my anime list kind of reflect that, right? Like, in terms of its raw score, an 8.21, but a membership of just around like 32,000. So it's not like super underground, but it is still relatively niche. But
I
at the
think
same
it's
time, people
high.
who are
Too
you,
high.
you think the score of 8.21 is too high?
It should not be an 8. Like
Do
a
you think
high
maybe
sevens.
like a 7.75, 7.7,
Yeah, 7.8. I mean, yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, okay, well, what's the difference? Basically, I don't think it deserves to be an 8 or above, essentially. A high sevens is,
But
I
you
think,
did give it an 8, right? But according
yeah,
to your own metric.
yeah, because I think, like, the extra, it was just really comfortable to have it on while I'm doing stuff on the side, on another screen, or whatever. And it's easy to follow, it's very entertaining, it's a good time. But
But I guess for you, it's because like you're familiar with like the shoujo genre, and it's something that you're quite passionate about. Therefore, it probably spikes the score a little bit. But if you were to
Mhm.
be a little bit more sort of impartial, then yeah, maybe like a 7.5, and then depending on your mood, it can be a 7, it could be an 8.
That's essentially what happened. I would say the last couple of episodes were more serious in nature, and I thought those were actually better than the kind of shenanigans in like the first 3 quarters of the 12 episodes. But besides
Okay.
that, it's still a very solid entry. I just think it's a tad overrated in getting a 8.21, but still a good time. That's it.
Well, I mean, you watched every episode, right? All 12 episodes. So
Yep.
hey, it must have it did something well, which was grab your attention for 12 episodes.
Absolutely. It's fun. It's for sure very fun. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's Romantic Killer. That's currently live on Netflix. So if you haven't watched it yet, check it out. And if you are watching it, let us know what your thoughts are. So besides Romantic Killer, then is there anything else you consumed?
I mean, there is, but I'm kind of hesitant to sort of go off on like a bunch of shit. So,
Right. Well, I
um,
mean, maybe I'll take the mic then.
yeah. Let's see what you got.
I mean, it's quite easy to guess what I've watched.
I
If you
don't
want to
know.
just throw a wild guess.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Okay. I'll watch Do It Yourself.
Did you?
Watched. I did it
you
myself.
do it yourself?
I watched it. I
Yeah.
watched it. Yes, on the. All on my own, all by my lone self. So do it yourself, man. Like because we talked a lot about it before in terms of like because you watched some of it before I did, and I think
I'm all caught up.
yeah, you're all caught up. So there's 8 episodes now.
Oh,
I've
except
only
for
watched.
today. I think
Yeah,
an
so
episode released literally hours ago. I didn't watch that one yet.
So maybe you haven't watched the episode 8, or maybe it's episode 9, and like Mal or Wiki haven't updated it yet. But you're as current as you're almost like current. I only watched 2 episodes, so just to sort of give some background information. Of course, do it yourself, or in Japanese, do it yourself.
Hey, that's
Original
also
Japanese
the
name.
character's name.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to get into later as well. So an original, we've had a pretty good sort of track record when it comes to original anime that have released in recent seasons. So we have another one that's produced by Pine Jam. So relatively, actually quite young studio. Started up back in July 2015 and has quite a few major works. So they started off with Mahou Shoujo Nante Modeskura, as well as Gamers, just because. They also did do an OVA for Hosuki's Coolheadedness and Tawawa on Monday.
I always wanted to watch just because. I keep hearing it, but I've never really like pulled the trigger on it. But anyways, sorry, I was
So they got that going on, and then after that, just because they did Gleipnir, which is like, look, Gleipnir is just pure trash. You either love it or hate it. I kind of hate it, but at the same time, if I was to finish it, I probably would enjoy it. I'd still give it a 7 though. Then
Yeah, I think it's a
there
7 for
then
me.
there was another series that aired a year after that, which I think you watched, Kageki Shoujo, and you had like high praises for it too.
I really like Kageki Shoujo a lot.
Yeah.
It's just really good show.
Yeah, so for a young studio, right, Pine Jam has a pretty decent portfolio. So now we focus on Do It Yourself, which released on October 6th of this year, so very much within this season. And currently, I think it's scheduled for 12 episodes. They've also gotten a manga that is like rolling out in tandem with it. So it released its first volume just I think the same day actually, or the day before that episode 1 had aired.
But it's an anime original, though.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that's usually how it is, right? Even
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
of course, that the manga does come out maybe a day or a week before, the original intention for it was to be an original anime, and then afterwards, it's like, oh, to sort of garner more attention, they would also have a manga that goes along with it. A lot of original series follow that kind of that model. So in terms of the series itself, it's quite self-explanatory. It's just a young group of middle school slash high school girls. I think they're still in middle school actually. Yeah, it's a bunch of middle school girls that pick up this really really wholesome hobby of DIY. So not just like pure carpentry. It kind of ranges from like arts, from woodcraft, from essentially just being able to create and craft something with your own bare hands. It's kind of set in. It don't explicitly say, but it's quite clear that it's supposed to be like a modern day setting, or at least maybe a couple years in the future, because the whole city itself is littered with flying drones. There's sort of like AI slash self-driven buses that go around the city.
They have
There are
butlers.
rollerblades. Yeah, they're
Like-
little octopus butlers. They're essentially little. They're basically little Siris or little whatever the Amazon one is.
Alexis?
Alexas, yeah, little Alexas running around and helping you to warm the bath or reheat food or prepare the bed and all that. And then there is this young little girl named Yua Serfu, who of course is the titular character in Do It Yourself, and she is not necessarily like holding on to like old traditional like rustic fucking like carpentry and the building of industrial like concepts. She essentially is just very laid back, just doesn't really care too much about wanting to get everything automated, is quite keen to just sort of self-explore and do things on her own. And she comes across this this DIY club and finds out that she actually has a passion for wanting to build stuff with her own bare hands. I don't really know how else to explain the concept of this kind of genre. It's literally just like talking about Eurocamp, right?
Slice of
or
life,
slow
yeah.
loop. It's just cute girls doing cute things in a slice of life setting, right? Much like how Eurocamp is about 5 girls who want to go and camp, and slow loop is about a group of girls who want to go fly fishing. DIY is about a group of girls who want to explore the world of DIY. If it doesn't sound good to you, then don't watch it. But I quite like it. It is very very soothing and chill to watch. So far, I only really met like 5 major characters, which are like the 4 main girls, as well as like the supervisor that's watching over the club. So there's obviously a lot more for me to unfold and to really give a more comprehensive review or my feelings of the series. But 2 episodes in, I'm feeling pretty good about it. There's the thing that really stuck out for me as well is the music is very Animal Crossing esque. I mean, of course, with
Bro,
yeah.
you feel that too? So I feel DIY gives me the vibe of just I would so I think that has yet to be decided, but DIY in terms of fluffiness factor, I think is extremely high. But I don't think it's like it's just super mellow and chilled. and like
it's laid back DIY,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they don't necessarily do anything that is incredibly like fua. They're not like trying to be that kind of genre, but it's quite clear that the intention of this show is just so that you can turn on the TV or your laptop or your phone and just sit back and enjoy. People who have fewer like things to worry about in their lives, and hammer some nails, screw some screws,
wait,
and build
what
a
is
bench.
the healing one? The heal I keep forgetting. Yashike? Yashike? You know what I'm talking?
Yashike.
Yashike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yashike,
The
which is
healing
like
soothing.
which is literally like it's the most mundane, boring, slow tempo shit you'll ever watch. But through that, you end up basically lowering your heart rate, lowering your anxieties, and whatever sort of anxious thoughts you might have in your head. And it just, like you said, it calms you down, it soothes you, and you just enjoy the 24 minutes you have on your screen because the music is non intrusive. It's actually very chill, even though there are some like high pitches that go along with it. But it's like stuff that is quite like calming to the mind, calming to the ears. The characters are all very bubbly, and I think they do the character designs and the voice acting very, very well.
It's a very rejuvenating show for sure. 100%.
Yeah, I already have a favorite character so far. Yeah, shout out to Takumin for breaking out of her little shell and discovering that she has the passion for design. So I really like that character. I hope she continues to flourish throughout the season. The little bookworm, the little purple-haired bookworm.
Oh, also shout outs to the OP, which is sung by the cast. I thought that was pretty cutesy too. Like it's not
look, if you overlaid that OP into the opening, the sort of loading screen music for Animal Crossing, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's just literally the same sort of vibe.
Definitely. Like definitely. Or like I wouldn't call it elevator music, but like some kind of just like.
You ever play those kinds of games where it's just like you're going around and like Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley? It's just you have
I love those
background
games.
music. Yeah, you're going around and you're getting your crops, you're sowing seeds, you're going around and trading, like fabrics and leathers with like, local vendors, you go and fish, and then in the background you just have like slowly changing, but still very much suitable environmental music that essentially like isn't supposed to take away your focus from the game. And it's just, look, you've got some chill beats in the background, but remember, your turnips are about to go bad, so you got to water them. You got to make sure that you get them before it starts raining, and if there's sunlight, then do the best you can to be able to keep plowing those fields. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get beautiful turnips.
It's
That's
such a
literally
vibe.
what it is here.
Such a vibe.
You can't. I mean, okay, you can hate on it, but why? Why would
Why?
you? I understand that maybe cute girls doing cute things or a slice of life is not your thing. And to be fair, for me, it's like it's not to say that I was like a hater of slice of life. It's just that it wasn't necessarily something that I gravitated towards. But the more I watch it, the more it's just like, man, my life is tough. I've got a lot of things going on my plate. But I sit down, turn on my laptop, and watch an episode of Eurocamp, or in this case, do it yourself. Kind of don't really focus on the hardships in life and just enjoy, just kids building stuff. They're enjoying it. I'm enjoying watching this whole process unfold. It's a good 24 minutes to spend.
I think it's great, honestly.
I think right now the score, it's like
8.
what, like a 7.5, 7.6?
Yeah, but I would give it an 8, probably. Very likely. It will never go higher or lower. It's just
It's hard. It's hard with like cute girls doing cute things and slice of lives, because it's like a lot of them follow very similar formulas. It's the same way that we talk about like shonens, right? Or like mystery manga, like supernatural mysteries or suspense mangas and animes. Like, of course, they all follow a similar model, so they're going to hit those notes that make us like, yeah, dude, like that's the thing I like about this genre. But it's like small little like details that change your perception of it, giving it an 8 as opposed to giving it an 8.5, as opposed to giving it a 9. I still haven't really found something that is like a masterpiece slice of life yet. Though yeah, Silver Spoon was quite close. But yeah, actually no, Silver Spoon is. Did I give it a 10? I think I gave one of the seasons a 9. But anyways, still
Yeah.
back on do it yourself. Highly recommend. With the fact that temperatures are dropping in around the world, unless you're in
So
Australia.
comfortable. Such a comfortable show.
Yeah, like, look, I'm just imagining, right? Like if you're like out in the woods in a wood cabin, you've got like a little fire going in the fireplace, and you just have that playing, like with the snow like dropping out in the field and the outside. That is like the perfect environment. Like that's essentially what you want. You want a hot cup of cocoa. Also, what they do in the series too. And yeah, just vibes, just fluffy vibes.
Yeah, I really think that this fall season, even if we haven't consumed or start consuming some of the series, is very readily apparent to me that there are a lot of surprises this season that I did not expect.
I mean, you've literally got like everything for everyone. It's of course it's like you got a lot of anime that come out in every season, right? But I feel like this is the season now where literally like if you want sports anime, you got Blue Lock. You want some old school to remind you of how good the good times were, Bleach. You want some real hype shit that everyone would just not stop talking about, Spy X Family and Chainsaw Man. You want some, I guess, Idol stuff, Idol 7. You want like real blast from the past, Urusei Yatsura. And now you want some really chill, fluffy, cute girls do cute things, slice of life. Look no further than do it yourself.
So we have an award category called, I think, Best Surprise or Discovery. And I kid you not, right now it is a very troubled award because it went from having 2 solid entries to now having 6 with like a winner, then maybe first runner up, second runner up, honorable mentions. I can't eliminate. I don't know what to do about it because
you're gonna have to, Jason.
I know.
Let me guess. You've got Bochita Rock in there. You've got Do It Yourself. I'm sure you got Arc Knights in there as well because you were talking
I
about
do
Arc
have
Knights for a
those
while.
2. Yeah, I do have Bochi and Arc Knights, but I also have another show airing this season that you 100%, 1000% need to watch. First, you should watch Bochi the Raw. I think that is, I'll save how I feel about it for the finale.
Until I actually start watching it, and then we can talk about it and share our thoughts, right?
I'll just say something is, I have never thought that maid cafes.
Oh my God! Yes, that one.
Akiba made war. Akiba made war. Within the first 3 to 5 minutes of that show of episode 1, and I don't even want to say anything more. I cannot because
Akiba Made War and Do It Yourself, both originals for this season, both of them sitting at a 7.53. So dude, like this is a really really damn good season.
Yeah. Speaking of damn good seasons, Will, do you want to know?
Is it time to start talking about Bleach, Dozen Year Blood War?
No.
You haven't watched that then? Okay, all right.
It's talking about certain bets.
Oh yeah. Okay. I've been trying to push this back for as long as possible, but all right.
Technically, it extends until the winter premiere, right? I mean, that's the rules. So I ain't going to force anything on you or anything. If you don't want to talk about it, we won't talk about it. But
I just know that I'm doing, as always, really, really badly right now. So if you want to run through it, go ahead. I'm just going to, take off my headphones and wait till the waveforms start to die down a bit, and then once I know you stop talking, then I'll get back on.
Okay, I'll just say this. Simple. We have 6 shows, right? And then we take the average, right? So if you were to take your lowest ranking show, which right now is Yutsura, the remake, at 7.33, and you replace it with Bleach, 9.12, you still would be losing.
Yeah, I figured as much. Oof. I'm never going to be able to catch a break in these bets. the time I finally beat you in a seasonal bet, we're popping champagne. For myself, I don't know if you're going to be partaking.
Dude, I will buy the champagne for you. How about that?
Okay, all right. Okay,
For real. For real.
All right.
You can
Deal?
timestamp this bullshit. You can timestamp it just to prove it. I will buy champagne for you. No problem.
Sounds good. Okay, there is one thing I do want you to say though. You don't have to reveal like how bad, like how good and how bad the scores are for you and me, respectively.
Sure.
What is the point differential though between yours and mine?
Do you really want to know?
Is it a full like 1 point something?
Oh no. To be fair,
okay, so it's
no.
not that it's not that tragic then. Okay, got it.
It's not
okay.
that tragic, but I mean, let me calculate it right now. It's almost 0. It's 0.298.
Okay, that's not too bad then. That's okay. That's I can take that. I can accept that. That's not as terrible as I thought it would be. I thought for a minute it was like you're averaging like an 8.2 and I'm like a 7.5.
You're quite close, actually.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Fuck. No,
I'll just tell you right now. I updated it as we were talking. I have an 8.1483333 repeating. You have
so 8.14. Okay.
You have a 7.845.
That's not too bad.
It is not too bad.
Not too bad, but
it was worse. Until
I was hoping that at least I would be able to get my score in the 8s. I thought I would still lose, but like,
do you know what saved you
though.
recently? Do you know what actually saved you recently, which I'm so curious about? So there is more than a married couple but not lovers have been around the 7.3 area for in 7.2, 7.1 for like the longest time. Then I think since last week it shot up to 7.61. And I have no idea why. Because I haven't watched it.
Thank you, Studio Mother. Thanks, Mother.
Yeah, so that one saved you quite a bit. There is something I want to report on. So remember I picked Blue Lock over To Your Eternity Season 2?
Yeah.
That was not only a great choice because of the Mal score, even though they're both 8s, but they're separated by like 0.2 something.
0.16 as of now. 8.24 for Blue Lock and To Your Eternity Season 2, 8.08.
But my God, Season 2's production, remember we said it was a new Studio Drive,
yeah.
I think?
Yeah.
God, it looks so bad. In comparison.
I think that's always that's always the worry that we have when it's like a new series, a new studio that's taking over, right? I mean, I think everyone's been burned, since One Punch Man, so that's why everyone's going to be a little bit wary about what's going to happen when studios change hand. I mean, season 1 was 8.38. I remember it being much higher, but I think it kind of like
after the
slowed down a bit.
After the dog episode, it changed when people realized what the story was actually about. So yeah,
season 1 episode 1 was fucking crazy. And then I think like I saw the preview for that because I didn't watch past season 1, episode 1, and then I saw the preview for episode 2. And
I think you got cut out, buddy.
What the hell?
You got cut out a bit or something. I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean?
No, just now I got cut out. I couldn't hear what you just said.
That's fine. I mean, it's Discord's problem. It's not our problem. I'm still talking. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. All good. But yeah, I think To Your Eternity, the manga should still be rock solid. But looking at just the episode, it is very much a One Punch Man season 1, season 2, but maybe not that drastic. But it is like night and day. And obviously you do not have you still have pink blood, so I guess you still got that, I don't know.
I mean, it's still above an 8, right? I mean, like,
yes, 8.08.
You can't really ask. 177,000 members. It's not doing quite well in terms of popularity, but we have always said popularity doesn't really like correlate with how well something is going, especially when it's like second season, third season, and beyond. But look, I think that obviously good call. If you had gotten to your return, I don't know if it would have affected your overall average by that much. Maybe it might have dropped by like, 0.03, 0.04, because you still have other stuff that's like really propping you up, right?
Yeah, I just put it in. I only dropped by 0.02 if I replaced
Yeah.
Blue Lock with To Your Eternity. I
Hey,
had
but those points do matter though, right? Like you
Yep.
never know if,
I,
for example, like married but not quite lovers, if that one like ends up like skyrocketing to like an 8, that could make it more
yeah.
a little bit more competitive.
I have 4 8s and you have 2 8s.
Oof. So I got Chainsaw Man. What was the other one I got?
I got Chainsaw Man. You got Spy and
Oh
Mob.
no, that's right. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So of course, like the usual suspects.
So I actually haven't watched a single episode of Chainsaw Man.
That's
And,
fine. I
and
mean,
I
like,
probably won't
yeah,
until like later
it's all
on.
done, right?
Yeah. I have nothing against it. In fact, if anything, I know it's going to be fucking fantastic.
Well, I mean, it's in the same way. I mean, how much Spy X Family Part 2 have you watched?
A lot for some reason.
you
'Cause
have?
It's more fluffy, I guess. It's just more.
It's Anya.
It's Anya
and also
after
'cause-
work,
and also
you know?
Bond is here, right? Oh, spoiler alert! That's the name of the dog.
Yo, what the fuck, Will? Yeah, but yeah, I honestly think it's Spy X Family and Chainsaw Man, even Mob. I've like only watched like 3 episodes, but it's on Netflix Hong Kong, so uh I need to watch also The Witch from Mercury. There's so many shows I actually need to watch and finish. I need to finish Overlord from last season, anime,
Jesus
and
Christ.
I'm close. I'm like 2 episodes away. There's a number of shows.
Have you finished Licorice Recoil? Have you finished?
Shit, no, dude. I need to finish that shit. I'm like,
You must have finished Call of the Night though.
I'm 2 episodes away.
You're almost there. Okay.
Yeah.
And then of course there's things like Uncle Isekai. There's also
That's today, son.
yeah, they're finally back on track. I think.
Oh, thank God.
It has done a number on its score, though. Remember how like you said like this delay is going to have an impact on its mouse score, and it has. Since we last reported, I think it was like a 7.99, 7.98. It is now sitting at a 7.86, which is pretty rough.
It was over. It was like an 8.2 before, right? Like at its highest, right? So it's like really unfortunate, but I think that's just the way things are. Like, what are you going to do about it, right? Like,
yeah, not everyone's gonna know like what the hell happened to it. And sometimes just there are people that just legitimately don't care, so
or lose interest, right?
Yeah.
Are we just gonna spitball? Because we can keep going because I actually have a couple of things to also mention. I guess if we want to.
I mean, like we can run for like another like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, who really cares? Who's really keeping track, right? But I do know because of the fact that it is the morning for you, and it's still a weekday, so both of us have work to do. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to tune out of our 2D lives and plug back into the Matrix.
I mean, I can do some quick fire things that I don't think I will mention in the finale that I think I will mention here. So
I mean, this is the time to say it. Yeah, go for it.
yeah. So first of all, Blue Lock is going to show up in my awards list, and I'm actually very impressed with just the whole production and the way that the anime is adapted. So it's just rock solid, better than I thought at least. Then there is Eminence and Shadow, which I have been pushing to high heavens and won't shut up about it.
It's still doing respectively well. I mean, it's 7.8. That's that's pretty damn good for a mouse score.
I think it's a good show, but it's not a great show. I think
but the manga is a great manga.
Yes, for sure. I was surprised that they maintained a high degree of violence in the anime, but not all the way that is in the manga. But still, like, way more bloody than I expected. But still, it's not anything that is gonna, be destroyed. That what was the forms? Destroy be the next Konosuba, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what people say.
That's what a lot of were quipping when they were talking on the Mal chat rooms and the message boards.
I think the directing and I guess a bit of the budget, it really prevents that from being like a Konosuba killer or whatever. But I still think it's a very good show. And I think it's just a rock solid show. I think
Man, I just look back at the summer 2022 seasonals. Ah, man, this would have been much better for my bet because of the fact that Love Live has dropped down to 7.77 and Shadow's House is barely holding at an 8. Oof, tough times. But yeah, back on what you were saying.
7.7. Oh, Jesus. Times have changed,
Yeah, no,
Will.
I think it's just people going over and like knocking it down with the scores. That's the thing, right?
Like
with
review
something that's so
bombing and
small.
stuff, right?
Exactly, right? Like so and at the same time, right? Like looking at the stats too, right? There's not that many people who voted, so this is the time when you can actually say, yeah, no, your vote counts. If you decide if like maybe like 50 more people give it like a 1 out of 10, then that would probably push it down to like a 7.6, 7.5, something like that.
Yeah. So I have not even watched a single episode of The Witch from Mercury, but I will watch quite a bit just to sort of see what's that all
Well, you
about.
have watched an episode. It's just not like the main series. It's
that's
just
right.
Episode 0.
I think I've said that every time, and you have backed me up every time, being like, "Dude, you watched episode 0. Shut the fuck up, Jason." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. Like legit, you're right." So, let's see how the main series goes. I will probably finish Tatami Time Machine Blues. I haven't really watched anything more than I think episode 2. Have you watched more?
I'm on episode 2 or 3. I forgot which one. But yeah, I'm not finished with that yet. Yeah, look, I haven't finished The Chorus Recoil. I haven't finished Classroom of the Elite, Overlord, Call of the Night, Uncle Isekai, of course, makes sense for Uncle Isekai. The Parallel World Pharmacy, haven't watched that one yet. I haven't caught up with that yet.
I'm
still
like
on
3
episode
episodes.
2.
I'm 3 episodes away for that one, Parallel World.
And then, of course,
Pharmacy.
there's like the Isekais, right? Like Black Summoner, and My Isekai Life. I'm probably not going to finish those.
I'm not gonna finish
Ayumu, I'm not
those.
going to finish.
I'm dropping
wow,
Ayumu.
The score is horrendous. I mean, it's not okay. 7.06 is still a good score, but like compared to where it was before, and like that kind of genre of anime, like being usually like well received, no, it's not doing very well.
It's just not as good as Takagi-san, but it's the same shtick. So because of that, I also think that Ayumu is like way lesser in terms of like priority than like Takagi, for example, right? It would be Takagi high first place, Ayumu like really far second, and then really far last is that
the
Tsubasa
ninja
one, which like it's just terrible.
Yeah,
but
and then of course you have the other scores from summer in the 6s being of course Devil's a Part-Timer, of course looking into Mama Haha and Vermilion Gold, all 3 of them in the mid to high 6s, even though they started off in the 7s. Actually, no, I don't know if Devil's a Part-Timer was in the 7s, but it's definitely not in the 7s now.
So
actually, all it needs to do is just lose 0.02, and then it'll be a 6.66, and that'll be the perfect score for Devil's a Part-Timer.
So Will, before I talk very briefly, I mean literally several sentences about one more show, do you want to talk about like what you think winter will look like after I say what I'm about to say?
I mean, you want me to just sort of preempt winter right now?
Sure. Here, let me just say the thing first. Arc Knight's Prelude to Dawn had every right to be a shitty like tie-in to the actual tower defense game.
Have you played the game before?
Nope. But I have thought about it since watching this show, and
it's done its job. It's done its job.
It's actually really good, like really good. Yeah, I'll get in. Trust me, it will show up, and I'll get into that. So, it's only 8.
Well, I guess in terms of anime that tie into games, I guess maybe now is a good time to just quickly talk about what's happening for Winter 2023, which is just around the corner. So are you excited for Nier Automata?
I mean, I played the game.
It's A1 Pictures, bro.
I mean,
It's A1.
yeah, it's the best steak sauce ever, right?
It's wonderful sauce. I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't eat your steak with sauce, then the fuck's wrong with you? You know.
Okay, so in all honesty, we still have yet to decide how we're going to do our seasonal bets, but I do think that there is a lot of fluffy content for winter. So, for example, the ice guy and his cool female
I thought
colleague.
I thought for a minute you say like Fluffy Emmerich. Dude, Vinland Saga's coming out, man. Like Bungo Stray Dogs season 4 is gonna be coming out. And don't forget the Misfit of Demon King Academy. Like, oh, it's like this is the fluff you're talking about. It's like, oh yeah, actually no, there's probably a bunch of other stuff that I'm not even noticing.
Yeah, the ice guy and his cool female colleague is very much what's it? A snow demon and a kudere with an office romance comedy. Then we have Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, which is a very well-known like manga plus Jump plus I think manga done by Pine Jam, right off the heels of DIY. Right next season,
This is definitely going to be a studio to keep an eye on. Absolutely. If you haven't really been checking it out since Kageki Shoujo and now do it yourself, hey, keep your eyes on the studio.
I think Oni Mai, I'm Now Your Sister is a very interesting gender bending manga. I've read all of the shows that I just mentioned, those three slice of life shows, and
Can already tell as well that there's going to be the trash anime of winter 2023, which is The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten.
Ugh.
I mean, look no further than Project Number 9 animating it, right? I mean, their track record has been Mama Haha. I mean, Higehiro. Say what you will about I'm in love with the no, Love at the World Domination. Like, obviously just
I dropped that show, by the way.
It's to be fair, it's still a decent score. Dude, 7.48 is pretty good. I don't know. It's just those kind of shows where it's like, yeah, it's good, but is it really enough? And there's a lot of other stuff to watch, so I guess I'll put this on the side. So yeah, I think that how trash this one's going to be, I don't know. I mean, the fact that if you look at, for example, Mama Haha as well as Higehiro, very much, questionable, like, just, like questionable genres with it, but at the same time, like Mal only says they're, romantic dramas, no ecchi whatsoever, which is of course, complete horseshit. So maybe, we might expect differently for, the Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, because this one's a romantic comedy. So not romantic, not dramatic romance. It is a comedic romance.
Yeah. So there is also a good amount of popular stuff. I mean, we've mentioned Bungo Stray Dogs season 4.
Tokyo Revengers.
Yes, that's going to be great. Vinland Saga, I think, is going to be the king of the season, or at least
you and I are
top
both not going to be
contender.
watching Nagatoro. We're not going to be touching that at all.
Yep, but it's still going to be massively popular. You and I both know this. Is it Danmachi is Danmachi season 4 part 2, again part 1 part 2. You're getting mentioned in the finale part 1 part 2 kind of anime split curse. So those are there. So those, I think Inspector season 2 is kind of interesting in that, like, I like Inspector quite a bit, but only the manga, and I'm just like, yeah, you got season 2, sure, fuck it, yeah. You get your farm isekai, you get your campfire cooking isekai. That should be interesting, right?
Yep. I mean, the next season, of course, it's unfair to say like how lit or how crazy the next season is going to be just because of how stacked the current season is. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, there's going to be a lot of good stuff to check out for next season. Like for example, like My Life as Inukai-san's Dog, which is very very clearly going to be. Actually, no, this might actually beat the Angel Next Door Souls Be Rotten, the trash anime.
Dude, the most
season.
disgusting trash anime.
Studio Quad. Literally, the last thing they did was that Kuretsu, the Monster Development anime.
Such a mid
Which
show.
It was, yeah, actually, no, lack of a better word, it was incredibly mid. Promising, but it just failed to deliver anything beyond like the first episode. So hey, maybe My Life as Inukai-san's dog is going to be great. Though the most worrying thing is that when you're looking at my anime list and the preview trailer they put on there as as the little clip on the side, it is the not safe for work version.
Lol.
So I yeah fuck it, I suppose. I'm not gonna watch it.
I mean, Max Defense Isekai Season 2 is going to show up, so that's pretty dope. But let me tell you my most curious anime winter 2023 seasonal. Because there is a show that I really like called Land of the Illustrious. They also created another show that we kind of hated on, and then now kind of is like, oh, okay, I kind of see it, called Beastars. And instead of continuing those projects, Studio Orange decide to do Trigun Stampede. And I'm interested to see how that looks, how that goes.
I mean, like, unpopular opinion, or maybe popular opinion, because I don't really talk to many people about Trigun. I don't think Trigun's that good.
I don't think Trigun's that good either. But they're like remaking it, like giving.
I mean, you and I both saw the trailer for it.
Yeah,
it looks good.
I thought it looked a lot better than what I thought Trigun would look like. Obviously, the 3D is actually very good because it's Studio Orange.
It's orange. Like, you can't look past. I mean, it's like expecting UFO Table to do something shit. Like, that's not going to happen.
Especially when it comes to 3D, right? Like,
right. That's their their deal, right? Like,
yeah.
if they can't do that, then like, oh man, you should just dissolve the company. No more orange, right?
All hope's lost. They are literally. Them and Polygon Pictures, I would say, are the two studios that, in my opinion, are well known for 3D anime.
Yeah, but even if when you stack the two together, it's like Studio Orange being S tier, and then Polygon Pictures being like B minus sometimes B plus, but never really an A.
I mean, when you're second, you're like last still, right?
Yeah, if you're second, it means you didn't win. So unfortunately, that's the kind of, that's the tier that are going to be in, but that's still fine. I think, like I like a lot of the Polygon Picture stuff, but you're not gonna beat Orange. Orange is a fucking good 3D studio.
Yeah. I also want to see how Tomo-chan is a girl and also Spy Classroom, how that's going to work out. Because how
about Mononogatari?
They are so you're saying that they're starting Monster Season and Off Season, Will?
I mean,
Studio Shaft is back at it again?
Oh, I mean, if they sold the rights over to Bandai Namco Pictures, then maybe. I mean, I'm only just checking out just to see how terrible it is compared to Monogatari. Because, I mean, look, like, Monogatari is great. Like, you can't really compare the two. But it'd be funny just to see if it's any good.
Okay, to be very fair, guys, in case you're not aware, there's a show airing called Monogatari that is not part of...
Mononogatari.
Yes.
Yeah, not Mononogatari.
It's just hilarious that, like, even I made that mistake, right? So, I think there's a decent amount of stuff that's going to show up that is gonna surprise people, or it's going to be expected to be awesome, and then obviously expected to be shit. Really,
I mean that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to be able to look at stuff that would be like the surprises, or the stuff that like is worth checking out that aren't sequels, because just looking at the members section for the seasonal of winter 2023, no surprise, of course, that the most followed ones are, of course, Vinland Saga Season 2, Demon King Academy Season 2, Nagatoro Second Attack, the Christmas arc of Tokyo Revengers, yada yada yada. Even By the Grace of Gods is also like in the top 10 most followed, most anticipated for winter 2023, and everyone knows how terrible that anime is. So yeah, look, let's
it looks like to be a normal. It looks like to be a normal season, essentially. A lot of like popular stuff, a lot of isekai, good stuff, bad stuff, surprises, a good mixture of everything. I think that's really it, honestly.
I mean, for sure, we're not going to be seeing like season like winter 2023 like beating this current season in terms of the amount of 8s and up, right? Like there's no way it's going to be an 11 and above.
I wouldn't have guessed that either, right? Like
maybe 4, maybe 5. I mean, like,
yeah,
we will discuss this more at length when we decide how to do the seasonal bet for the following season.
Yeah.
But just at first glance, it's like, I think, normal service has resumed. Clearly, we've been blessed with a lot of really, really good stuff because everyone just decided to release all of the heart-hitting anime series this season, and then next season will be like maybe 3 or 4 that like, oh, this is absolutely the greatest thing ever, and others are going to be like, this is cool, it was all right.
Yeah. So, for you guys listeners, I'm ready to wrap up, and I'm assuming we're getting there. But I also just want to let you guys know, listeners, that our next episode that we're going to release is obviously our season finale, episode number 48. But afterwards, I think the episode 48 would release mid-December. So obviously, Christmas and New Year's for everyone is like a time to chill, be with family, celebrate. So watch anime. We will figure out for us how we're going to structure it or not. Like, we're going to discuss that. But regardless, the point that I'm trying to make is just like how I have spent and will have spent his time in the PM for him, in the AM for me, to report to you the latest and greatest of anime and manga. We will continue this train. The GAP train doesn't stop, bro.
And not just that too, right? As you mentioned, we're getting very, very close to the end of season 4. We also want to, to thank the listeners here as well. You guys have been following us for almost 2 full years. I mean, shit, we started at the beginning of January 2021, and now it's
January 26th, but yeah,
2021. So close enough, right?
Close, very close enough. Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, wow, like, you guys have followed on a very, very long journey, and we're tirelessly just trying to make sure that we continue to pump out good, or at least like interesting content, whether or not it is like a genre or a studio or an anime series that you vibe with. At the very least, we thank you for taking part and listening to this. Some of you have dropped feedback to us, which is actually super cool.
Some of you guys are in the Discord. Awesome.
Never imagined that would happen, right? So yeah, I mean, of course, the other thing as well is it is Thanksgiving in America. So
yes,
yeah, thanks from the GAP, from Jason, from Will, to you, the listeners, and to the future people in hopefully 2023 and beyond.
It'll be belated.
Coming back to this episode and listening.
Yeah, it'll be belated because we will release this at a later date. But as of today, it is Thanksgiving, so I'm leaving work on time rather than late. Or
what are you having for dinner tonight?
Goose.
Ooh, nice alternative. Not dry
Chinese goose.
Oh, I got roast beef. Okay. Like, I am in Canada. Canadian Thanksgiving was 6 weeks prior, but whatever. I mean, it's another time to eat good food. So yeah, I got a roast beef ready for tomorrow, because it's still the 23rd over here.
Do you know what else is good? Well, it is the Good Anime Palette podcast, but you can always reach us through several good methods. Email gapalette@gmail.com. That's GAPALETTE@gmail.com. All lowercase, all one word. We could say using the handle @palategood on Twitter, but Elon Musk and the recent firestorm that happens there is kind of weird at the moment.
Holy crap, does that mean we have to start like blue checking ourselves soon?
If we pay the money for it, yeah. But
we'll talk to Elon, but on to the credits.
At capital P and capital G, all one word, @palategood. Or you can just bypass all that Twitter fire and just come to the GAP Discord, do it yourself, and talk to us about how fluffy or how edgy the future holds for anime and manga. We also have a website. We encourage you to check it out at www.goodanimepalette.com. All lowercase, all one word. Will, are we using the EP music credits? Minus the break?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think we've gone long enough that this deserves to be an EP of sorts. So let's go with the opening and the ending of season 4.
Our intro music is Ninth Power by Henyeo, and our outro music is Golden Rules by Luax. You can support the music artists we feature by listening to them on Spotify, Apple Music, and other music listening platforms. And our royalty-free music was provided by Epidemic Sounds. Thank you very much, Epidemic Sound. If you're interested, you can sign up using our referral link in the show description to get a discount on your 12 months plan and the first 30 days of your subscription for free. Terms and conditions apply. William.
Man, I cannot wait to be back in Hong Kong so we can do this face-to-face in the same room.
We're getting wasted, son.
I mean, dude, like it's been so long. I mean, granted, like I've enjoyed, these almost 2 months being in North America, but it would be nice to, finally make it back to my home and, enjoy the comforts of a recording studio.
I have to say, though, we have a new episodic format, kind of felt like to say that, which is we recently did an anime series. We call it ASAP, right? So it's what? Anime series adaptation primer, and has received a lot of like buzz and reception. Thank you, guys. And
we hope for sure that not only are you checking out the manga series that we talked about, but are also hotly anticipating when the anime adaptations drop.
So we will probably make it of a somewhat episodic episode per podcast season. So
yeah, no, it really does sound like you guys are interested to not just look into what anime is currently airing, but also what could potentially come up by maybe reading manga. Who would have thought that manga is pretty good, right? So
yeah.
I think it's definitely something we want to continue doing. I very much enjoyed reading the manga series. Like Mashal was great. Mashal was really, really good. And then Oshinoko
Solo Leveling
was also super dupe. Solo Leveling was
Kaiju.
It was bound to be good.
They're all good, actually. Solid.
Really,
first,
really good.
First 4 was rock solid. Speaking of manga, just a quick note to one of my coworkers. You know who you are because you're going to listen to this. I will finish reading a bit more of I'm Standing on a Million Lives, and I will talk about it on the podcast as I promised.
Oh, what? So
yeah.
So you're reading the manga, but you're not watching the anime.
Because this person was like, yeah, why don't you just read the manga?
Trust me. Just trust me.
I read the first volume, and I have to say, it's not as bad as I thought, but it's also not as good as I thought. Or not as good as I thought it would be. So
you made a promise, so you're not going to break it, right?
No, because apparently it builds up and escalates, and it actually does look to be that way. So I'll give it a bit more of a chance and maybe read 3 volumes. So that's like 1 or 2 seasons or something. I don't fucking know. But sorry, neither here nor there. Will, anything you want to say before we part ways for the night for you and the morning for me?
Yeah, no, I think Jason and I are going to have a sit down and maybe go over what we're going to be sort of focusing on for the next ASAP primer. And also everybody just get ready for the Christmas season. Christmas is around the corner, which also means that the season finale is around the corner. And then when the new year comes, y'all better be ready for season 5. So stay tuned for that. We hope you enjoyed our sort of little riffraff for episode 47.5. There are probably going to be more times that we have to do this because unfortunately the world is opening up, which does mean that I'm going to be traveling a bit more. Maybe Jason will be traveling a bit too. Who knows? Maybe Jason and I will be, touring around the world and see, other weebs that, vibe with the JP.
Yo, we are going to go do that Taiwan-Japan trip at some point. We've been talking about it since forever.
Yeah, look out, world. The GAP is going to be going global.
Yep. So, that's it, guys.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up. Okay. Well,
did we fill the content? Yeah. Did we fill the episode? Did we fill the content?
I mean, this is as filler as can be, but I think we did a good job. Let's see how it goes. I mean, I'm down to do more filler episodes when the time comes. So yeah. Thank you all very much for listening to today's episode. We'll be back to our regular recording schedule in just a matter of weeks. Until then. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I. And,
get ready.
Yeah. We will be ready because the next one's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a long episode.
Was like 3 hours?
Probably. Could be 2.5, could be 2:45, could be 3. Whatever it is, we'll hope you be ready. So strap in. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Catch you guys later.
Peace.